Welcome to the Bill Levinson Experience, a motivational podcast relating to the insurance brokerage industry and business in general. And now, here's Bill Levinson.
Okay, so welcome to the Bill Levinson Experience. I can't believe what's happening today. I'm sitting in front of Gary Vaynerchuk, also owns Empathy Wines, and most of our top agents are actually getting a case of wine this year for the holidays, so very excited about that. I just literally, I'm blown away with today's meeting and podcast, so I hope everyone feels the excitement. First off, I want to introduce Gary Vaynerchuk, and let me just tell you real quick how I came across him. As you know, I've been into motivation my whole life, grew up listening to Tony Robbins, and I was sitting at a Transamerica convention about 5 years ago, and they had this guy that came on that came through Skype, and he was on the monitor in front of us, and he was talking exactly my language. We were the same age, both Jewish guys, and I was like, wow, this is insane. Finally, someone sees and feels what I'm seeing, which is very off charts in our industry, as everybody knows. So anyway, I was so fortunate, and I thank Gary for being able to set this up today. I hope everyone listens in and walks away with some great information. Okay, so first of all, welcome, Gary, and thanks again.
I'm thrilled to be here, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. So if you were an insurance agent in today's times, let's say,
yes,
how would you go out and market yourself? And let's say if it's YouTube or LinkedIn, website, whatever the case is, what would your advice be to these agents?
Well, look, I think people hear personal brand or social media or these things and they have a certain perception of it. I think of it as reputation. And I think if somebody's listening right now who's 73 years old and she's been killing the game for 43 years, she can tell you right away that her reputation and the word of mouth built her business.
Right.
All I think that social networks are is the plumbing of word of mouth in a 2019 world.
Right.
So first of all, it's super important for people not to think this is about being an influencer or the vanity of it, or it's douchey. Like I think people have misconceptions.
Right.
Producing content in written, verbal, or video form on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, a podcast is a way to build awareness of your expertise, thoughts, hot takes, hypothesis, around your industry.
Right.
Which then leads to awareness, which then leads to business.
Yep, exactly.
So, I think that there's a lot of people that have been doing business for 20, 30 years that have a Rolodex, have word of mouth, and they feel they don't need this new world because they're doing fine, which is fine, but I believe that's the same thing that Sears and Woolworths and Toys R Us thought. I really do.
Yep.
And so I think people get disrupted over time. And then I think a lot of other people are so worried about getting followers that they're not worried about bringing value to people.
Right.
So that runs through my mind.
I always tell them it starts with one person, and then 3, and then 5, and 10, and 100, and then it just goes from there.
But people lack patience.
Right.
Do you know how many people are listening right now who started, got a Twitter account, got a Facebook account, did it for 4 months, didn't see short-term sales, and gave up?
Yep.
A lot.
Yep, it's a shame.
A lot, because when you're building something meaningful or a real business, it takes a long time. People lack patience to build a book or to see results from a new tactic. And so people put the old world on a pedestal and they demonize the new world.
Yep.
Because usually they don't want to put in time and effort to learn,
right.
or like they're tired and they just don't want to build something new.
Yep.
They rest on laurels, and these are how the vulnerabilities and opportunities come in our society.
Yep. A lot of these agents, and it's unfortunate, but they think with like the old school rate book and legal pad, and let me go through the yellow pages and go through Google online and make cold calls, and yes, that's fine, but it's
that's
different
sales.
It's right,
brother.
Right.
People get focused on short-term sales.
Yep.
What you've picked up on when you naturally felt this, and then obviously reinforced when you saw me 5 years ago, is I talk about brand.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Yep.
I'm talking about brand.
Yep.
I build something for the long term, which creates a world of people coming to me instead of me always having to come to them.
Yep. Yeah, it's brilliant.
In any relationship, isn't it much more fun when it comes to you
Yep.
than when you're chasing it?
Exactly. Yep. I preach this every week on our webinars.
But people don't want to put in the work.
Yep.
Or they don't know how to do it.
Yep.
Or they lack marketing savviness or effort. But it's just, I think it's patience. I really do.
Yep.
I think people don't want to put in, this doesn't happen overnight.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that's why we built this whole marketing platform for all of our agents out there with your free website and quoting engines. Everything is there for you. You just have to put the time in to learn and ask the questions on our webinars.
You gave me 5 minutes of a preview of like this platform you're building.
Yeah.
But look, the way I see it, it's like you're giving somebody the best tennis racket. You know what I always talk about when it comes to tools? There was this one scene I saw once on vacation where these two guys, I was kind of like, I was trying to remember what I was doing. I was like, I'm a very like just lay on the beach, defrag, and like do nothing. But I was walking for some unknown reason, and I saw two guys about to play tennis, and I just had nothing to do. And I actually decided to watch it for a few minutes, right? Actually, I remember this very clearly. So that's 7 or 8 years ago. I've never forgotten this. So these two guys come out on the court, and one guy has all the gear. Like the headband, like pulls out like 40 rackets, like testing them, like Federer shorts, Nadal wristband, like just looks the part.
Yeah, looked like $1 million
The
bucks.
other guy comes out with like literally a John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors wooden racket. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
Old school 1974 shit. Bjorn Borg in the house. I'm like, this is interesting. Like, took note. They go on. The guy with the wooden racket beats him 6-love in like 4 minutes.
Oh my God.
You're building a tool, but if they don't know how to use the tool,
Yeah,
it's not going to matter.
Yep, that's genius. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
I personally do not know what to do with a wrench.
Yep.
I know what a wrench is. I understand the concept of a wrench. I can unbolt a fucking bolt or whatever, but like not really.
Yeah,
Like you have to, like these are tools.
Yep.
And what everybody's listening to now is like if they think they're going to sign up to your fucking platform, right? And like miraculous things are going to happen.
Yep.
It's the same
Nope.
people that don't work out and eat healthy and take bullshit pills and think they're going to be in great shape.
Yep. Got to put the work in.
There's no steroids in business.
Exactly. Yep. That's a great point.
I like that.
Yeah, that was real good. I'm using that one. I love
Me
it.
too. Clip that shit, Jason.
Yeah, that was good. No, so to Gary's point, I mean that's spot on, and that's exactly why.
By the way, I just invented something
Yeah,
for my
yeah,
content.
yeah.
From now on, honestly, without even, I'm not even going to look at you guys anymore. Daniel, I'm just going to say clip that shit. Daniel, you know what I mean? Like D-Rock, Jason. That's it. All right, go ahead.
Love it.
That's my new life.
All right, so we got that
New
one
life.
clipped. We're
Yep,
good?
good.
Okay. All right. So now, obviously, yes, you have to drive traffic and you have to create the content, which is what we tell everyone, which is so important, right? So what I want Gary to dive into a little bit is where
Tell
should...
stories. People always
Yes,
like, what
yeah,
content, Gary? I talk to a
Yeah.
lot of life insurance and insurance sellers, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, I've spoken at conferences. I get a lot of it. I'm like, they're like, what do I talk about? Sometimes they talk about regulation. I'm like, look, everybody has regulation. I was in the liquor business. I couldn't ship to a ton of states. Like, there's always things, right? Talk about stories.
Yes,
Make up
yes.
stories. Not make up.
Right,
Make up the
right.
names, right? Let me tell you the story of 4 years ago in my career when Mr. and Mrs. Green needed something. They came to me and said this. I came to them and said this. We found this. Storytell.
Or as life insurance agents, how many of you actually delivered a death benefit check to a family where the breadwinner just died and there's two young twin 4-year-old girls? And you were the one that came through with a lottery ticket for this family. Tell that story, right? Show pictures.
You know, talk about it as its truth, which is, in my opinion, from an outsider, and you know better, I don't think that's a lottery ticket. I think that was a massively smart strategy.
Yes,
Look,
I
I
agree.
spend a lot of time, like if I pass away tomorrow, the check that my family is going to get is not a lottery ticket. There's no luck behind it. I've taken hours and hours and hours of thoughtful planning to make sure and keep adjusting it as crazier shit happens to me,
That's
right?
right.
So you know, painting the picture of Harold, who you miss very dearly because you worked with him for 23 years and he tragically did pass away. Now let me tell you what happened with Gertrude and why, and let me tell you what Harold did 16 years into our relationship. It was Harold reaching out to me, the agent, not me to him, that said, I need this. Then I saw it play out for his family. Now I don't wait for Harold's to reach out to me. I'm now reaching out to,
Yes.
tell the truths of your career.
Yes, exactly.
And by the way, if you're a day one agent, talk about what you've learned at school or from your grandfather who's in the business and how you see the world differently. Who am I?
Yep.
I'm a guy who didn't go to marketing school, didn't go to business school, and what I've done is I've talked and made content about how I see it.
Yep.
Laughed at first, ridiculed at first, pushed again at first, and then heralded for being right.
Yep.
Maybe there's an agent right now who's got different points of view than all of you.
Yep.
And she should make content about how she sees it.
Exactly.
She may get shit on now, but she
yep.
may be on a pedestal when she's 36.
That's right. That's right.
Most greats are overly ridiculed
Yep.
when they're doing it.
Exactly.
Only to later.
Just like me and you, same exact situation. Yep, same thing. Yep. So be real to yourself and tell these truthful stories. And
Don't make up the stories.
Right.
Let me just give everybody a
hot
hot
come back
tip.
to you.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a super real thing. Don't make up the stories.
With the internet these days, you're
Can't hide.
exposed.
Can't
And
hide.
it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago.
Nope.
Right? So that's exactly.
When I was 15 and making pretend I tasted wine because I wanted to sell wine, that before my dad reprogrammed me, that doesn't fly anymore.
No. And that's exactly what I tell everyone, that whole fake it till you make it thing, not worth it. Now,
That's a 1984 strategy.
That's right. And I talked about this last week in our webinar. All right. So now, yes, our agents are putting together some great stories in their head, which is awesome. And that's how you're going to start to build and brand. Now, where should the agents look first, like to start branding and marketing? Obviously, YouTube, start to make some videos. LinkedIn articles, I think, is always great. Talk about using an indexed universal life policy for retirement, or talk about, the Herald situation, or...
Starts with you being self-aware to figure out how you communicate best.
Okay.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Big tidbit for everybody. Are you a writer? I'm not a writer. So Raghav is my ghostwriter. I can't write. I've written 5 New York Times bestselling books. Stephanie Land, my ghostwriter. I talk it all out. It's me, but I literally can't put sentence structures together. That's not how I communicate. But put a camera in front of me, and I'm all the time.
Yep.
So I think first you have to decide if you have gift of gab, if you're a writer. If you have gift of gab, but you're insecure about the video camera, a lot of people don't like the way they look or just don't like getting judged on looks, so maybe you just do audio. Once you figure out your medium, then you have a strategy. If you're audio, first of all, I think all the platforms are headed more towards audio.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's great. And by the way, audio is amazing. You're in the car, you have a thought, pull over, hit memos on your phone, just spit your truth for 9 minutes, post, and away you go. Post it on Anchor, post it on LinkedIn, as if you've got a staff that can convert that audio with having an image on it. I do a lot of that on Twitter if you want to see it. So much opportunity. Anyway, it starts with that. Once you understand that, then you start deciding podcasts, LinkedIn, YouTube. To me right now, we talked about it off camera, Instagram's the one place that I think everybody wants to do it, that I wouldn't say life insurance agents are going to massively over-index. I think it's a LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook game.
Okay. No, that's perfect. And there's nothing wrong with having your spouse sit across from the kitchen table and have you talk about, term with return of premium, or, whatever it is. Start to build your personality. And
there's also nothing wrong with asking a client if it's
better.
Okay to record, and you're going to put on LinkedIn.
Little testimonials.
No. I'm actually going in a different place.
Okay.
Hey, Carl, I know you're coming in. Maybe a random request, but I'm putting out more content on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's respected. So, maybe you get some exposure for you and your business, Carl the lawyer.
Got it.
I'd like to film me going through this policy with you, and I just want to put it on LinkedIn. Are you okay with that? Now, 9 out of 10 people are going to say no. There's information they don't want to share, this and that. But all you need is one person who's a progressive client who just maybe wants the exposure.
Right.
Maybe likes the camera. Yeah. There's a lot of wannabe thespians that didn't make it in acting. I can be in a video. All you need is one, and now you've got a video on LinkedIn of a 47-minute process where people see it and hear it.
And they relate to it.
And they relate to it, and they can see you in action, and they feel comfortable. By the way, it's boring content for 99%.
Yes, exactly.
But guess what? The 1% that's in the market for insurance?
Done. Yep.
I mean, all you need is 6.
Yeah, that's right.
All you need is 1.
Yeah, 1. Yep.
I want 1 customer at a time.
Yep. No, that's perfect. So, and yes, you're going to come across the 1 or 2 families that are going to be fine with it, and you're in. Okay. What I always preach to them, how like these days a website is your brick and mortar, right? There's no more, great location on University Drive, your big McDonald's with the fancy drive-through. This is your brick and mortar. Your website
You mean people like having offices on people like walk-in traffic for insurance?
Well, so I'm saying their website
I understand
now.
that. In the old days, though, people would have an office
Yes.
that people would walk
Right.
into, or you'd schedule meetings there, right?
Exactly.
I remember.
Yep.
People still have that.
Some people, yes.
No, I know. It's the old days. In the olden days, we walked 13 feet of snow, kids. Yes. If you do not have a personal website as an insurance agent in 2019,
Done.
you're in a little bit. Listen, you're driving a horse around town then.
Yeah.
Like, that's ludicrous.
And it's a matter of time.
And I know there's people. Listen, let me just say this one more time. Do you know how big of a company Blockbuster, Toys R Us, Sears, Woolworths, JCPenney's were?
Yeah, it's huge.
You're 57 years old. You're the king and queen of word of mouth in your area. You think you've got it.
Yep.
You think everything's awesome. You've been doing it for 29 years. This is a fun podcast to listen to the two of us, but that doesn't affect me because I've been doing it for so long in this suburb of Cleveland. Yep. I know what I'm doing. Everybody knows who I am. Everybody knew who JCPenney's was.
And look what happened.
Everybody knew. I'm telling you right now, do not underestimate technology. The limo and taxi drivers did, they got caught. The bookstores got caught first. Then the limo and taxi drivers got caught next. Everybody's going to get caught.
It's a matter of time. Little Jimmy comes out of college or high school, knows technology like the back of his hand. He's email blasting your clients. And it's a matter of time before your clients reach out to young Jimmy and you just lost your book of business.
And the counterpoint to you is like, yeah, but young Jimmy, but what if young Jimmy is the son of Susan?
Right.
Who's like a C player to your A, but now Jimmy is goosing Susan's content and his.
Yep.
It's a mother-son combo.
Yeah.
And now they've been able to go from the 3rd position in your market to the 1st because I don't know if you heard, but 50 to 80-year-olds live on Facebook.
Yep, that's right. My grandma's on Facebook.
She lives on Facebook.
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah.
I don't think people understand what's happening.
Right.
I'm fascinated by the naivete and the ostrich head in the sand around technology predicated on what you did yesterday.
Yep. I know. So now,
anytime you're resting on something you did in the past, you are vulnerable to the future.
Yep. That's so
Clip
true.
it, Jason.
Yep. And now you just heard it straight from Gary V, folks. So it's not just me telling you this anymore. Okay.
And by the way, just for everybody listening, because 90% of you don't know who I am, and after you Google me and say, oh, he's impressive, I still don't care. Who cares what I'm saying? I'm on the record on this. Whether you believe me or not, I said it, he said it, somebody else said it, the Lord said it. It's going to play out because it always plays out. Otherwise, the biggest companies in the world would have always stayed the biggest companies in the world.
Yep, that's true. Spot on.
This is not. This is history, my friends.
Yep.
This is
not
history.
rocket science.
And by the way, let me talk to the cats that are winning. You did something in 1984 that superseded what somebody did in 1963. You're the one that did direct mail when 63-year-old Howard kept thinking it was just a cold call.
Yep. Yeah.
And imagine if I'm using 1963 for cold call, if you're still just cold calling.
Yep. Yeah,
Do not be one-dimensional. Swiss Army knives always beat a fork.
I love it. And by the way, it's not like Gary's some big executive at a life insurance company, folks. He's a huge executive and owner and CEO of a great marketing firm, Empathy Wines. But he knows our industry from an outsider. So you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth here.
More importantly, and I think
a
a lot of people will appreciate this, I know what the end consumer is doing.
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you. People ask me a lot, like, why are you so successful in helping other businesses? I'm like, because I only focus on the consumer. I only care about what 53-year-old Karen in Naples, Florida does for her life, how she consumes content, how she makes buying decisions, what dictates her behavior.
Yep.
That's
right.
all.
That patterns.
And so whether that's selling An expensive ring, a cheap ring. Life insurance, car insurance. Where she's going to travel for vacation, what she's going to buy for coffee. It's all the same game, my friends.
Exactly. Yep. So here, I just wanted everyone to hear this. So we're on record now, and people are going to listen to this for many, many years. Also, make sure you follow. Gary's got some great content. What I want to do is switch gears just a little bit now and just talk about like us on a personal level, just a little motivation, staying positive. I hear you're into working out now, and I think that's so important. I don't care if it's, working out with weights or walking around the block for 67-year-old Mark, whatever it is, you have to clear your head. It's like therapy. And however you want to do it is fine.
By the way, on the record,
yeah,
working out does not clear my head.
Yeah. For me, it does.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
What clears my head is New York Jets football.
Yeah.
No, really, this is real.
Yeah.
The one place where I can escape and don't care about business at all. You could call me and say that the internet's been shut down and alcohol has been made illegal in America during a second quarter of a Jets game, and I will literally say, I'll call you at the end of the game.
Jeez,
could
that's
care less.
Unreal.
And that's what clears my head. It's something that I value more. It's where I escape.
Wow.
And it's the same reason people watch movies or listen to music or go hiking or work out or meditate or do yoga. And that's amazing.
But does working out also help you a little bit? Or
Nope.
Nothing.
Wow. What it does is it makes me know that it's helping my blood pressure. It's making me stronger. I'm excited that at 83, I'm not going to be, in a wheelchair because I had a really bad soft tissue, bad back, and now I'm going to be much more flexible.
Right.
It's it's the physical part of it, but it is
right,
not
right.
a mental thing for me.
Wow. Yeah.
For me.
I get it.
As a matter of fact, working out a lot of times, I do think about stressful stuff while I'm working out. It does not clear my head.
Wow.
Okay. But that's okay.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, this is mental warfare, right? Like your brain is the operating system of your body.
Yep.
And so if you don't understand that this is about optimism and positivity while being practical,
yes.
One of the things that optimism and positivity sometimes bleeds into is delusion and entitlement.
Right.
You have to balance it with practicality. Yeah. I balance it with like everything's my fault. Like everything in my business that doesn't work, that's on me because I hired the people that dropped the ball.
Yep.
Accountability.
Take 100%
Accountability is an incredible balance to optimism and positivity.
Love it. Yep. God, I wish the Miami Dolphins football relaxed my mind.
Yeah, I continue to hope the Dolphins suck.
Oh, I love it. I knew this anyway, so it's good. All right, so I guess just we'll end with this. I know we're running a little behind on time. Just maybe just some positivity, inspiration, things. I try to tell our agents, if you're not in the right mindset, no one's going to want to talk to you. I don't care how many degrees you have and how long you've been doing this and how big your book of business is. You have to be positive and you want to have good energy, and people want to be around that. They don't want to be around the guy or girl that has their head down and, they're stressed about their bills and taxes and the government and this and that. So what's some of your tips, advice, any inspiration, any things that people can write down and maybe think about every day to stay in that zone? Anything?
Yep. I want you to pretend right now that you just got a phone call that said that your children or spouse or mother just got hit by a bus and died.
Oh, yeah. That'll wake you up.
I do it a lot.
Yep.
I know this is a left field answer.
Yeah.
I keep things in perspective.
We want the truth.
There's nothing that gets me happier than realizing today's another day when something tragic did not happen in my life.
I love it. Yeah, so a fresh start. It brings you back to ground
It's just
zero.
perspective.
Boom.
It's just perspective.
Yeah.
You're either driven by gratitude. First of all, it's 400 trillion to 1, the math of becoming a human being. That alone motivates me. There's nothing you'll ever do in life that's more miraculous than the fact that you were given a life.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And that we're healthy and not in wheelchairs. And I mean, there could be so much worse that we're dealing with.
You could have been a ladybug.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess. But I don't like the thought of many other animals could squish me, So to me, I'm driven by gratitude.
Yeah.
And I have perspective that no matter what I'm dwelling about, there are so many more people that have it worse. And I did that as an immigrant that lived in a studio apartment as a kid, When kids were getting Nintendo and I had to buy mine, I saw that as like an opportunity or like a challenge. I didn't dwell. And I just think that people are entitled and pessimistic and cynical because they grew up in environments that they were handed things.
That's right.
Or they expect things.
Yeah, which is even worse. Yep. It's
like,
horrible.
I don't understand entitlement. Like, nobody owes you shit.
That's right.
Like, why? Who are you? I think I'm dog shit. I don't give a fuck what my Google results say about me. I'm dog shit. Nobody owes me anything, including the people that I give to, because giving without expectation is the framework. One of the biggest things that brings sadness in our society today is people who strategize giving, then expect something in return, and then they're mad when that person doesn't give it in return, yet they weren't giving, they were manipulating.
Exactly.
Clip it. And so to me, that is something I think a lot about. And so, I don't know, what's the tidbit I'm giving everybody? Like, be grateful. No matter what you lost the deal, that's something to be upset about.
That's right.
Because you couldn't buy a Ferrari? Because you wanted to buy something to look cool in front of people you don't care about? Like, what is going on around here? So, to me, this is perspective, mindset.
And remember, at the end of the day, what you're doing all of this for. It's not about the commissions or the renewal. It's about helping a family and helping little Susie and
by the way,
Johnny.
it's awesome. Listen, I'll jump in. Little Susie and Johnny's amazing. It's amazing to do shit for yourself, too.
That's right.
But if you don't like it, like, if this is something you think makes you money so that you can then go buy a boat, you're going to burn out.
That's right. Matter of time.
It's a matter of time. If you don't love your do you know why top draft picks fail? Because they don't love the sport.
They're doing it for the contract, for the
because
money.
They're so talented, and for a lot of kids, it's their way out.
Right.
This is their meal ticket. They were gifted being 6'11". But do they love basketball? They don't.
That's a great
There's
way.
not
I
a
never
single.
looked at it like
yeah,
that.
I'm glad you like this.
It.
This is an analogy that I haven't said often either. Do you know why the most gifted take away injuries? The 6'11" guy who gets picked third overall. Why is he a bust? Because it was the meal ticket.
Exactly.
He knew practically that this was going to make him the most money.
And the pressure from the families.
But what he loves is music. He just does basketball to pay for a better lifestyle.
Wow.
That's why he's not going to the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And in business, business, it's the same. If you're selling insurance right now because your dad did it and you learned and you know how to make money,
clip that. That was great.
And you really, really, really know how to do it, and it's the way that your brain thinks is the easiest way for you to make $230 a year, you will burn out.
This was my favorite part of the podcast. That was spot on. Changed my thinking. Forget the audience. That's what I needed to.
It's big, right, brother?
That's huge. I got the chills. Seriously.
I'll tell you why.
I love that.
I'm getting a lot of emails from people that I'm breaking through on this issue who then take a step backwards. They're listening right now. They make $230. They also hear me that downsizing is good. They literally make the most courageous jump and they sell their home, they rent. It lets them quit their $230 job that's making them miserable, and it lets them get a job at $80K at a pottery making company. And then 4 years later, look, we had it yesterday during our empathy telethon. An art guy was making $100,000 on art, then he went all in on himself, and now he's making $600,000 a year, right? We heard it last night.
So took a step back to go 10 steps forward.
He took a thoughtful strategy of like, the reason I'm not growing is I'm selling other people's arts. Let me get away from that and just go in on me. But I have other stories very similar to what I just said. $230 insurance, 80 at pottery, 80 at pottery, 80 at pottery, now selling pottery. This is 3 years later. That's why I said 83 times. Now making $100,000 because pottery's selling. And 6 years later, now at 39 years old because she bounced at 33. Now at 53 years old because they bounced at 47, making $250 selling pottery. Just like they were making $237 years ago. It was downsizing, not buying the same vacations.
Right.
All of a sudden, Turks and Caicos became Holiday Inn in Tampa. All of a sudden,
and the sports car became a Kia.
Correct.
Right,
all of a sudden, the house with 3 extra bedrooms in a better neighborhood became renting in a secondary neighborhood. But guess what? Happiness. And until we change in America and the rest of the world, the conversation that happiness needs to be the achievable thing,
and
not
then
being a millionaire.
Everything else will come.
The amount of people that say,
right?
I want to be a millionaire, versus the amount of people that say, I want to be happy, is completely
Not even
upside
close.
down.
Not even close.
We need to fix that.
Yeah,
Flip
Because then when happiness comes, everything else comes with that, right? I mean, it's common sense.
It's why people who love business are so successful.
Exactly. Love it.
That's it, bro. I'm so successful because I actually love business.
Yep.
And so while you sit on the sideline and judge me on how much I do it
yeah.
and how much I hit this and try to figure out why, it's because I love it.
That's right. Every minute of it, that's exactly right.
Because what we don't talk about with business is business men and women who are super successful are actually artists.
Yep. No, that is genius.
That's why Kobe is a Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
He
It's not just about
loved
the money. Yep.
Bro, I am not about the money.
Yep. No, me.
It's a collateral. It's a collateral of what I do.
Comes with it.
It's,
yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
having options of time because of it, big mitzvah.
Yeah.
But I did it when I was getting paid $54 and I was happier than anybody.
Yep. And isn't it amazing?
And I was building it for my parents.
Yeah.
I was a pig in shit happy at 28 years old, making 54 fucking thousand, building a business, not even for myself.
Yeah.
Because I love the game.
Yep. And that's how I started. Same exact thing. And I feel like your quality of work shows too when you're so happy and love what you do and you're not so focused on the dollars coming in. Like people see
You
that.
know what?
And it's a different energy.
I would say the energy is different.
Right.
Quality of work there isn't one disguise to that.
Okay.
There's people that don't love what they do, but they take pride in executing what they do.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So where I'll just create a little
Yeah,
nuance
yeah.
there is I see it in the energy.
Right.
Not necessarily in the quality of work.
Got it,
There are
got
people
it.
on my team right now that are doing good quality work because they have pride in their craft.
But they're thinking
But
about
they're not in
6 o'clock.
love with being on my
Right.
team. They're in a solid place.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
worst.
Right.
But they're different than the people on my team.
They don't
who
obsess
just
about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right.
By the way, the reason I'm even saying that is I hope they're listening right now and will come to me and talk to me about making it better for them.
Right.
I
Got it.
love that.
Yeah, of course. And it shows in work and everything else. Oh, that is awesome.
Listen,
man.
I know to wrap up.
Yeah.
Everybody who's
That's
listening, let's keep this very basic. Couple things. One, if you're not making content on the internet, you have started the descent of your career. I really believe that. And take it for what it is, and that's that. The Toys R Us executives laughed at me when I told them 7 years ago they were in trouble. There's videos of it on the internet of me saying they were in trouble. This is not like Monday morning quarterback. I document my stuff. Number two, if you don't love, this is the weirdest podcast ever. You need to look in the mirror right now as you're listening. If you don't love what you're doing and you're doing this insurance thing because it's the thing you think can make you the most money, take a step back and just really think about what you love. You would be blown away that if the thing you love is wrestling, that if you start a side hustle of a podcast around wrestling, what does Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and Skip Bayless do for a living? They talk about sports.
Yeah.
If you're passionate about something, right? Pat McAfee, Bob Memory, they talk about sports. Start a podcast and an Instagram account about wrestling and do it every day on the side because you're willing to do it at 10 p.m. because you love it.
Yep.
And then wake up in 18 months and all of a sudden you might have a sponsor coming to you offering you $50K to be the title sponsor of your podcast. And now you're like, that's a third of the way to my salary.
Yep, that's right.
Guys, the internet is the great gift of society. Everybody's talking about it now as a negative because we're putting it into an interwoven nature of exposing us in a political structure. It's a gift for everybody who's listening. Take advantage of it.
Can we just end on one note? I love how you explain how years ago, to get in the game, you had to be like a Doritos or a Nabisco.
You know how expensive a office was?
Yes, exactly.
On Main Street?
Yep, I can imagine. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
$5,000 a month in rent.
And
now make a LinkedIn account and you're on Main Street.
Yep. Main
LinkedIn
Street
is Main Street.
for free. For free. So boom. I couldn't say it better myself. So let's end with that. I want to thank Gary V, Empathy Wines. His team has been awesome. So thank you for the hospitality. I came all the way from South Florida, as you know. So we'll
By the
end
way,
with
big
that.
shout out to you. I'm all about time because time is the asset that I can't control.
I knew
Yesterday, watching you on email with Alex, confirming this slot, be like, I need to get back in my flat. I was like, I like this guy. I already knew I was going to like
Thank
you.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the hustle, and
I'm
I'm
sensitive
glad
to
you're
your
here,
time.
and wish you well.
Thank you.
And everybody who's listening, I really hope you got value out of this.
Yeah.
And if you did and you're on Twitter, Gary VEE, just hit me up and say hello.
There you go. Done. And we're going to do this again, folks. Take care. Thanks again.
Thank you for joining us for the Bill Levinson Experience. Please feel free to share this podcast with anyone you think would be interested. You may also visit levinsonandassociates.com and all of Bill Levinson's social media pages for more information.